Such a beautiful sound, isn't it? Oh, I love that. Good evening, everybody, and thank you for stopping by here on a summer Sunday evening. Glad you're here, and a couple of folks in Instagram. I'm still throwing it up over there. We have, I think he left. They come and go over there fast. But hope you guys are doing well. We're going to have a great meeting tonight, and I have some really cool stuff planned. So you're going to be glad that you showed up here, because we're going to kind of pull some manifesting stuff together that I think is going to be really awesome. So if you are interested in playing with this, especially with the energy that we have going this week, I would suggest you get pen and paper, because there's going to be some capturing to do. So I would definitely suggest, or, type it into your phone or however you prefer to do it. Good evening, Kristen. And Kristen will be with us with Danny next week. So looking forward to that. Danny did the readings that Robert Glasscock and I did, the speed readings. And one of the things that came up that she wanted to do was public speaking. And Robert jumped on that, of course, and it was all over her chart. So Danny open up options and possibilities. So figured let her give a shot at this, and they had this weekend open for the both, and it worked out great. So we'll look forward to Danny next week, kind of giving her support to launch this public speaking. That's going to be fun. All right. And Robin, glad you're here. And so we have something happening right under our nose, and I'm keeping an eye on the time. So I'm looking at my monitor right there. I have a teleprompter screen, but I have doggone glasses. I'd have to look right up my nose at that, and I don't want to do that to y'all. Oh, golly, we could talk about getting old, but we're not going to do that. So, hi, Esmon. Almost done report cards. Oh, hey, well, I hope you finish and come back. So good to see you, as always. Okay, 8:12 Eastern is a big moment in the sky. And I have our card, and I have another thing that I wanted to do. And I thought, well, let's catch it right in the energy of that. But, by the time we do the card and this other little reading that I have, it will be time. So I think we'll just move on with it, because I don't want to just be sitting here saying, how was your week, for the next 9 minutes? But just check it out, because it's 8:03 right now Eastern. And we're going to have this big aspect, and I'll tell you what it is. The big aspect is Jupiter, which is the good luck planet, is in a good luck aspect or angle to Pluto. And what came up is the Pluto card in the deck. So let's get the Lightworkers deck going here, and there it is. So this is death and rebirth, the very symbolism of Pluto. And I love that drawing. Isn't that just the coolest? Look at that. That is just awesome. So death and rebirth. Now, remember, we have the death and rebirth planet in 8 minutes coming up in this aspect with Jupiter. So as you think about this card and listen to what's being said, realize that that energy is powerfully amplified and magnified right now under this aspect. And we're right there on it. It's just amazing that it was right here at the time that we were starting. The positive sides of this card: cycles of transformation, rebirth, transition, change, new beliefs, newfound awareness, endings in a positive sense, symbolic death in a positive sense, an initiation process. And on the challenging side, the shadow side, clinging to the past, fear of change, sentimental attachments, forces of destruction, mortality, the end of hope, mourning loss. It says you are on the cusp of a massive transformation. And that's exactly what the energy of the sky is this whole week. It's time to mourn the end of one phase while celebrating the birth of another. I like to use the caterpillar to butterfly symbolism for that. Same thing. And I love how they captured that in that drawing, the death and rebirth. This energy of transmutation and rebirth signals a beautiful metamorphosis that will allow you to expand your consciousness and move closer to your own divine essence. A cycle in your life, as in a relationship, a belief, a career path, or an outdated plan for the future, is coming to an inevitable end. Deep breath if this sears you, sweet light. This change is needed, exclamation mark, in italics. Know that this card urges you to release what is already losing energy, and to focus on things that are already gaining momentum. Welcome the possibility of something new and allow this phase to come to a graceful end. Look toward the magic of this newfound horizon, because underneath its morbid exterior, the Death card heralds exciting times filled with brightness of so much potential. New light awaits. And the little saying, I allow myself to let go of the past in order to add energy to new beginnings. Mwah! How about that? Don't you love that? That is so perfect for... Now, how are we doing? 5 minutes left. All right. Then the other thing that I wanted to, that just came to mind, was to pull another scripture, but this one I got from the Tao Te Ching. And this translation by Stephen Mitchell is a really good one. He did a really good job. I don't know. I think that translating the Tao would be quite the challenge. But that is great. So I now the way I did this is I just kind of, like this, and just went with, there. And what we got was number 55. And it says, the master lets all things come and go effortlessly without desire. She never expects results. Thus, she is never disappointed. Thus, her spirit never grows old. Isn't that great? Let that soak in for just a minute. Let all things come and go effortlessly. How can we get to that point in our life? No desire. Never expecting results. Never being disappointed. I love that. So basically right now we are in the energy in the sky as Jupiter is in this 120 degree angle away from Saturn, or from Pluto. And that is the ultimate epitome of not only good luck, because Pluto adds power, but it's good luck moving in exactly the right direction. So isn't that just totally cool? I love that. And here we are with it. Now, I saw something up here that made my heart smile inside. Amy Lambert, first level up. Welcome to you. Glad to have you. That's great. I love it. And yes, echo what Mary said, welcome. And Isla says, welcome. That is just a great, great card. And yes, Nancy still, and I know we need to catch up, and I'm sorry, it's, for both of us, I'm sure, has been kind of crazy, but new beginnings for Nancy in this next phase. So Kathleen, good to see you. Thank you. Esmon, love here. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, I appreciate it. We're going to get some audio stuff cranking. I have been busy working on some stuff that we're getting ready to kind of put together, and it's going to be really cool. So more audio coming. Don't worry about that. That's what we do around here. Too much fun. I wanted to count us down to this, and I wanted to catch the moment. Not that, I mean, it's that big of a deal, but it's just kind of cool that Level Up started with this really great aspect, and then the deck pulled through and gave us exactly the card that we needed. Oh boy, Isla, I'm sorry. So, oh wow, her uncle died on Wednesday. Lots of this family trauma. Like Joe, you remember Joan Rivers? Can we just stop it? we just stop? I think she said, can we just talk? But I think, can we just stop? So I know, I'm so sorry. And I'm hearing it from others too. I mean, it's like, it's not, mm. Hi, Sandra. Good to see you. Yes, we're going to talk about those planets aligned in the sky in just a minute. I've got a really cool graphic to show you guys. But, so we'll just hold in this because we're going to do creating tonight. So Isla, be right there with us on this. And we're going to create around it. All right. Promise. They abandoned me after my dad died, but they want me to come to the funeral. Well, Scorpio sun. How do you feel about that? I would say, what was your blink? The moment you got the invitation, the moment it was in your space, what did you feel? I'd like to hear if you'd be willing to share that. Melissa's mom 3 years ago. Wow. That's been a fast 3 years, hasn't it? Lots of memories there too. Yeah. So here we are, right? 512. Boom. That's this is what a Jupiter trine Pluto feels like right here. Okay. That's what I was feeling for you. And not that it's any of my business, but I was feeling that same thing. And they're giving you an open door. And this is about the times here. And it's like with my family too. I mean, if we can come to terms, the door's open, but it's going to have to be addressing some things. So I think partially you just walk through an open door, and if it feels right, and it obviously does, then go with blessing. And if something happens while you're there that takes you back the other direction, that's fine. You went, you tried, and you're honoring your uncle, which is a good thing to do. So, yeah, don't hold grudge. We Scorpios hold grudges. That's one of the things we do. We dig in and we get grumpy, and we hold on to it sometimes. And this is stand by. Take your phone out, get a snapshot of that. The master lets all things come and go effortlessly without desire, not expecting results. So go without expecting results. Just let it go. And you will not be disappointed. And your spirit will be grown and soar and not be disappointed, with what happens. And that's just holding things loosely. And that's exactly what we do. So yeah, good. And you have a lot of prayers in here, as you've seen. You are on you're on YouTube. Yeah. So a lot of people on YouTube have caught in, and then also, yeah. And obviously, I'm not sure if you're in our Facebook group or not, but there's a lot of support in there too. Hey, Sarah, good to see you always. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Let's jump into a couple of things that we have tonight. And, I can't resist talking about this for just a second because it is relevant. And that arrow is pointing to the current sunspot, which is this same sunspot that the red arrow is pointing to, that was here mid-May, that caused all those incredible X flares, that X8 almost 9, and all those auroras that almost did me in. 5 of my neighbors did not make it through. And what happened is that thing just went right back behind the sun, and about 2 weeks later popped right back out. And that's the same one. It's obviously not as big and it's not as ferocious, but it did throw off some X1s over the weekend. So it's going to trek across the sun again, and obviously, and maybe it will be back again. And this is from the Incomparable Telescope, backyard telescope, he says too. I think he lives in Tucson or something. But Andrew McCarthy on Twitter, I'm not adopting X, Twitter, is there and always captures these amazing pictures. And he said that one was from today. So now the thing is, because it was mostly when it was throwing, it's really not Earth facing. That still is just enough on the other side. So what we're getting, this was the peak of the CMEs, which were really, I guess, supposed to hit over the weekend. But you can see that that's just not. Look at the circle on the top left circle, and then you see the three little circles inside. That middle circle is Earth, and that red band that's coming up from below is the CME band that was supposed to come through. And I've been watching it, and it just never developed. And then you see the big bottom circle, that other one. But this was all supposed to hit over the weekend, and it just really hasn't yet. Now, we might get a little bit as that thing keeps throwing off some X's. We had an X1 today, and I believe early this morning. But yeah, so yes, it is the same sunspot. It has a different name, and you know what? I didn't take down the name, and it's not on that slide. It was 3664 over here, and I think it's 3697 maybe now, but it is exactly the same spot. So just be aware that that's out there, but it's not nearly as severe as it was last time. Now, a lot of people are talking about this already. You probably have seen this kind of a slide on social media. It's been passing around quite a bit. Well, I wanted to show you what it looked like compared to an astrology chart. So how about this? And this version, this drawing, this depiction is from earthsky.org, which of course puts out a great newsletter every day. If you are subscribed to that, it's a free newsletter. You just get it in your email if you'd like to subscribe to that. They do a great job. And so what you're seeing here is Jupiter, Uranus, and Mercury. Now, the chart over there on the left, you can see the sun. You know what that is. That's the circle with the dot. And this is just above sunrise because that line that's right below it represents the exact point of sunrise on the chart in the way that this chart is drawn. And you can see that Venus and even Jupiter, Uranus, and Mercury. So the way that goes, there's the sun. The next one up is Venus. The next one is Jupiter, the one that we just had kiss Pluto over there. And Mercury is the next one, kind of the purple color. And then Uranus is the next one, the blue one with the butterfly wings, if you will. Well, those are the ones that are down there. Problem is, this is right at sunrise, as they have depicted on the graphic. And you're not going to be able to see Venus, and you're probably not going to be able to see Jupiter, and you wouldn't be able to see Uranus anyway because it's really hazy and it has to be pretty dark, and there are only times of year when it is close enough to the Earth to be visible. So it's kind of a tough one to see. I got to see it when I was in North Carolina. Got to see it with binoculars. But so you're probably not going to see those because the sun will wash them out. But you can likely see Mars. And I love because they put the moon in there, and it's almost new. So the moon in its trajectory is moving down toward the sun, while the planets in the sky are going the other way. The sun is rising. But then up at the top up there, which of course you won't see, is Neptune, and Saturn would be, would imagine. You might get a glimpse of Saturn, I guess, in the very pre-dawn hours. And then over there to the right, if you just keep on going, there's Pluto. And you follow that blue line back down, and that's a triangle that's in the middle of that blue line. And you see it coming back down there to Jupiter, which was the second one up from the sun. So that's kind of how that looks in the sky. And that is the idea of the stacked energy that we've had. And that's what the bundle looks like, because between the sun there at the horizon and Saturn up at the top, let's see, this is 13, is about 85 degrees in the chart. And that's not even a 90-degree angle. I mean, that is compressed is what that is. And I took a lot of other things off of there so you could just see exactly what was shown on the graphic. But here's the deal. When I was putting the podcasts together for this week and getting the material together, I just kept looking at the energy this week, and I thought, man, this is going to be a great week. And and then the next day was like, wow, this is even better. And then we have the new moon. So I told you the moon is moving toward the sun. It's moving down. And by Thursday, the moon and the sun will be right there together. So it's just like, and that's the creating energy. And that's what we're going to talk about here in the next little part. And that's why to have your pen handy, because we're going to write down some intentions and some manifestations and things that you'd like to see pull forward into your life. And we're going to bake it in under this amazing energy this week. So if you ever wanted to play with the universe, now is a great time to do it. Okay. Now let's talk about one other thing with the moon. So you see the moon there in the middle, or just down from Mars, and you see that it's almost, there's just a little sliver of it. So it's entering into the very last phase before it goes down and touches the sun on Thursday. That's the full moon, when the sun and the moon are together. They're in alignment. So you don't see the moon because the Earth is actually casting the shadow to block it out. So that's the time of new beginnings. And in one of the podcasts this week, I guess it was probably Thursdays, we'll talk about the Celtic traditions around this, about what they did, especially focused on the earth and centered on the earth to play with the energy, to follow the energy. They're so earth focused, earth aware. And so if you wanted to look up some Celtic traditions around this new moon, it would be a kind of fun thing to play with for the 4 days ahead of us, or 3 days before we get to Thursday. And then it's Thursday morning is when the new moon is. But that's exactly what's going on. So that last phase, now as the moon drops down, I mean, just picture in your mind, every morning it's going to be lower and lower. And then finally on Thursday, the sun and the moon will be together. And this last little phase, and we just picked this card. We just had the card about the death and rebirth. And the last little phase of the moon before it meets the full moon, or the new moon before it meets the sun, is the last little part before that moment of, if you will, the death of that cycle, as the new cycle begins and the moon starts to move now forward toward the sun, but it's going to go all the way around, or it's going to go halfway around to meet it. So I hope that makes sense. I'm stumbling around a little bit, but what it's saying is that we are, over the next couple of days this week, in the last little part of the letting go, the releasing, the dying to the old. And that's why this card was just so perfect, to talk about letting the stuff go that doesn't serve. Well, we've got this beautiful picture in the sky, this stack of planets, and right in the middle of it is the moon telling us to let go. And some of you were born with the moon basically like where it is now, right before the new moon. I was born about a day before the new moon. Some people were born 2 or 3 or 4. Some might have been afterwards, but in those days before, it gives you this last final phase of the moon. And what that is, it's all about this awareness that there is so much more out there beyond just this life, because you've let most of it go in your mind, in your consciousness. And that's what you came in with. So if you feel a little detached from just the mundane and the reality of daily life and daily living, and that's been a constant theme all through your life, there's a pretty good chance you were born with the moon heading down toward a new moon like we're going to have on Thursday. And that means that you have gotten, in a soul perspective, you've been pretty good at letting things go. And these things just don't bother you as much. So I thought, let's do this. How about reading some Catherine Ponder affirmations out loud together? If you're in a position where you can, let's say this together. Just say it out loud. There is gold dust in the air for me. Through definite, deliberate, prosperous thinking, I now begin assimilating that gold dust. Even now, I am beginning to experience gold dust results. Just love her stuff. You know, what she said in her lecture, and I so wish there was more of her out there, but what she said in that lecture that's in her voice is that you will have prosperity demonstrations within 24 hours and be looking for them. And she talked about during the breaks, people would come up and mention that they'd had a prosperity demonstration, and that's it. It's that gold dust beginning to appear. All right, let's do this one. Abundance, wealth, health, and happiness. Divine intelligence is even now opening the way for my immediate blessings. Wow. Isn't that powerful? I hope you're saying these out loud if you can. Let's do another one. I am an irresistible magnet with the power to attract unto myself anything that I divinely desire, according to the thoughts, feelings, and mental pictures I constantly entertain and radiate. And then one more, together if you can. I have the power to create whatever I wish. I attract whatever I radiate. I attract whatever I mentally choose and accept. I begin choosing and mentally accepting the highest and best in life. Now, she would have written these back in probably the 1950s, and she was already jumping on the highest timeline right there. she just got it. You just didn't put the timeline with it. But boy, the concept was certainly still there, but even back then. So I had a couple of thoughts around effective manifesting. So I wanted to just share 4 little quick things. And if you've got pen ready to capture what it is that you want to create, this would be a good time to do that now, because if you were able to read those out loud with us, or certainly you read them to yourself, that's the space that we're in. Let's capture some things that we would like to float by this incredible power in the sky of these planets that are in this massive alignment. And all the good planets are just stacked up in a row, and they're going to give us a lot of really good creative energy this week. So let's put it to use. So the first little point that I thought of, just a checkup, is our alignment. And I've talked about this a lot in the various podcasts. And I think the alignment is something that we have to, A, frequently check in about, and B, make adjustments, and C, it's something that you and your soul, you with your higher self, you with God, you with the universe, comes to the conclusions of what is in alignment and what is out of alignment. And that's something for you to assess and not for others to tell you. So I think the best thing is that you just, during this week, would be a really good time to spend some time checking in. What I do in the past, I would typically ask, is there anything that I need to change or adjust? And just ask the blank question. Is there anything I need to change or adjust? And if I got a yes, then I would start to drill down on what it might be. And you can do this muscle testing, or you can do it with your intuitive blink like we did with Isla. What did you first feel when you heard the invitation to come to the memorial service? She said, I felt to go. Well, there's exactly what you do with this. So you could be asking, if there's something I need to, is there something I need to shift in my alignment? And you get a positive or a yes, or a muscle testing, or however you do it, you get a yes response. Then you can basically just listen, and then you can start to, is it around my relationships? Is it around something I'm doing? Is there something I need to give up? I mean, I just start asking all kinds of questions, and then finally you can hone in on, what it is that's showing up, that the universe wants you to, your soul wants you to let go of. So that's the first thing. Then the second thing is focus. And that's exactly what we just read. What we focus on, we bring into the world. I had a doctor friend say that he had been practicing over 30 years at that time. And he said that he noticed with his patients, he was a primary care doc, and he said that where you are today is basically the sum of your thoughts and actions over the past 12 to 18 months. And that's about right. That's pretty good. So it might take 12 to 18 months to refocus and to achieve a new outcome, but there is a little bit of a lag effect. But where we are today is the result of exactly this very thing. What we have been focusing on in the past is present in our lives today. So be careful what you focus on. I mean, this is really guarding your mental real estate very carefully. And the problem is there's all kinds of invaders that want in. I have been spending so much time this past week on the funastrology.com website. And for those of you who have, I don't know if I've seen anybody's name in here who has been locked out, but if you got locked out of the site and it scared you because you bought the 101 course and the horary course, and you're like, oh my God, I can't get to my account. We'll get you there. And there's even a way to get you back. If we have to blow your account up and start over, we'll get you back to where you were. And of course, no charge. So don't worry about that. But the reason is because over about the last 2 months now, every single day, the hacker attacks have just been prolific. And I had to get in there and figure out how to tighten the lid without blocking the good guys, you. So I think I got it, but it was a lot of work. And most of my week, a big chunk of my week this week was dedicated to that, sitting right here at this desk or in that recliner in there, working on it. And the reason was because of all these attacks. And I finally added some stuff that now I can see all the activity. So I can see when the people are coming in and what URL they're going to and what they're trying to do and all this stuff. And it's just amazing the influx all the time of just people trying to bam, bam, bam on that site. My little old tiny website, But fortunately, unfortunately, some of you got caught, but all the bad guys have been blocked and nobody's gotten in and done anything malicious. And I have a backup of it every about, I'm not even going to say but a short period of time. If you're trying to hack my website, not going to do you any good because I've got it backed up so much that you won't be able to change a thing. So there. But that took a lot of work. The point is, it's the same for us. All the time, through the media, through our family, through friends who want a piece of our action or they want to tell us what to do. And remember, when I go back and said the alignment piece, that's something that we need to figure out. And yet, everybody wants to tell us what our alignment should be. I don't get that. I still don't get that. I've been thinking about that. I mean, there's boundaries, and yes, sometimes we need to establish and I would say enforce. What's the right word I'm looking for? We have to affect our boundaries. Like somebody's, we got to say, hey, that doesn't work for me, kind of thing, and speak what does. But for the most part, it's basically people are just wanting to get a piece of it. Why? They're trying not to have to deal with their own selves is probably the reason. So then the next thing I thought of that's a really good technique and putting it into the batch here is commanding. And I was just thinking about this the other day. It's like, why are we tiptoeing around? Why are we not just being bold, especially this week? Now, if you want some juice on this too, by the way, Kristen and I started this little Lucky Stars Club you've been hearing about. Well, it's at the top of the funastrology.com website. And we did about how long was that video? 30 minutes or so, 30, 40 minutes video of walking through the whole month of June for what were the days to lean in and what were the days to not lean in. And that's from a standpoint of, would there be a chance based on where things are in the sky, and then we tell you how to relate it to your own chart. Things that you might, if you are inclined, you want a good outcome, roll the dice, play the game, do the thing, whatever. Send the email, go to the casino. There's all kinds of different ways to do it. Well, that's available there if you'd like to jump in on that. We're going to be doing that every month. That's brought a lot of awareness to me about the different configurations of these things in a way that I just wasn't looking for before. So that's the good part about it. And we give you a calendar. You can circle the dates in your own calendar. So this thing about commanding, though, is that we basically get to a point where it's like, look, dang it. I am a child of the universe, like Catherine Ponder says with her verbiage. I have the power to create whatever I wish. I attract whatever I radiate. So I begin doing what I want to bring into my life and command it, expect it. Hey, universe, I'm not asking. I'm putting it out there. You're going to show up for me for this. This is what I want in my life, and this is what I'm expecting from you. Period. End of story. I think maybe we don't do that enough. And then the other key is create something that benefits somebody else. Caroline Horn brought this to our attention in some podcasts back, and what a great thing. And her dog was really, really sick, had a tumor up on his little brain. And that tumor is gone. How about GONE? Gone. and Marsh is not gone. That tumor was healed. And part of it was the manifesting as she was thinking about creating, not for herself. And yes, there's a side benefit for her. Obviously, she gets to keep her beloved pet. But for him, or for the idea of the tumor healing and disappearing, was for his benefit. She was passing that through. So make sure it's not a nice red convertible, very fast, sleek, oh la la sports car for you. I mean, we can do that, but if there's some way that it can benefit others, if it somehow can pass through, maybe it benefits your kids or the collective, or a pet, even a pet. But just add a third person to it who's also going to get a benefit, a very specific request. So here they are again. Check our alignment, mind our focus, be more bold and commanding, and have it benefit somebody else. And there was one more. Let's read this one together. This is a rich, friendly universe, and I dare to accept its riches, its hospitality, and to enjoy them now. And that last phrase is another key to the manifesting, because if you start acting as if you're enjoying it now, even though you're not holding it in your hand, the universe absolutely loves that. That's a big key to it. Act as though you have it. Just act as though it's there. You want a new relationship? Act like you have the relationship. Many people set a place at the table, just symbolically. There's somebody else here. Have a place for them in your space. Bring it in. Do the same for whatever it is that you want to bring into your life. All right. Let me catch up some comments here. I'm so happy to hear that. Oh, the lucky stuff. Yes. Absolutely. Yay, Marsh. I know for sure. Oh, great. Brenda's in the lucky stars. Good. Thank you. Are you in, Brenda? Did you get that resolved? The lockouts usually are just for a couple of hours, but hopefully you're back in. And if you're not, you get a hold of me through the email and we will get you figured out. Don't worry about that. Getting rid of bad habits is your focus. Okay, right. All right. Well, listen. Like I said, this is for you. Don't moralize this and don't socialize this. I shouldn't do this behavior. I shouldn't do that behavior. I've told you what some of my choices are in these areas. Those are mine. That's what I'm comfortable with. Others might be inspired by the things that I wouldn't consider doing. And we go back to our verse from the Tao. Let me go back to that real quick. If we mind our own business, and if we work on releasing our own ins and outs, and don't expect results, and don't expect or don't play to expectations of others, there's just that point, especially as we get older, where from Gone with the Wind, we just don't give a damn anymore. And I mean, that's not to be callous. That's just to say, I've figured out my life and I've figured out what's comfortable for me. Now, if I get into interactions and that doesn't work for somebody, back to the review, analyze, look at your life, and you can make changes. So, but also within that, even be careful of quantifying what a bad habit is. A bad habit is one that you should let go of and you don't. Then I think, crosses into a bad habit, because then it becomes a block. See, this is the thing. If we don't do this little process and we don't keep ourselves on a clean path, then the next thing that happens is I get an email in my inbox 2 or 3 weeks from now that says, hey, I did your manifesting with the new moon from Level Up and nothing happened. Well, chances are, if that's the case, it's going to be number 1 or number 2. The alignment thing is huge, because that's what creates blocks. And don't think that blocks are not real in this game. They absolutely are. And they're there for a specific reason. Hello, the theme of the night. The block is there to get you to die to that thing so that you can new birth the thing that's to take its place. It's not to put a thou shalt not list over your life and all that stuff. No, it's there for you to grow. But if there is a block, then you do that alignment process. Chances are the universe will reveal to you what it is that you're supposed to let go of. And then go back to our Tao Te Ching verse and just let it go. Let it go. There's your secret. Isn't this stuff cool? I just love it. So let's just for a few minutes go into a meditation now that will bring things home for us as we plant seeds now that we can continue to plant and water over the next 4 days, really, as we approach that new moon on Thursday morning. And for most of us, I guess for those of you in Europe, it will be on the afternoon, but yeah, Thursday anyway. So we've got 3 full days ahead of us, and we can really play with this every day. I hope that you will. So if you have your list, take your list and first thing to do is to just envision each item on the list. Like, look at the list and look at it fulfilled in your life. Don't look at it as what you have to do in order to get it. It's not a to-do list. There aren't 5 steps behind each thing you want to bring in. Just look at it like you already have it. It's already there. You all are all pretty good manifestors. I know this is not a new point. This is a really good comment. I love this. It shows that your heart is in the right place. That is a selfless reason. And you'll get a tremendous benefit, as you know. So I've always thought when you think about two people in a relationship, let's say. I love that. I love that. Say there's a husband and wife, or a boyfriend and a girlfriend, and they say, we'd like to stop drinking alcohol. Let's stay more clear. Let's save the money. Let's do better things with our time, et cetera, et cetera. So one decides they want to do that, but the other has no interest. In a dating situation, that could end the dating relationship. It could possibly. But in a marriage, what typically happens is if both people are not on the same side of the commitment, the one who wants to quit won't. Smoking, drinking, whatever it is, gambling, whatever the addiction is, if both don't stop, it usually won't happen for either. And I think anybody who does this kind of work would support that. So thank you for caring about your sister enough to support her and to do something that's going to be a little bit difficult for you. There's a book, and I can't remember the name of it if it comes to me, but there's a book that people have used very effectively, and I cannot think of the name. If I do, I'll stick it in the Facebook group. I don't know if you're in there, but I could try to find that book and stick it in the Facebook group. But a lot of people have said that that book has helped them. And I know that's not a lot of help because there's probably a million of them out there. But anyway, so let's just be looking at yours. So look at quitting smoking. Look at life without cigarettes as though it's there. See it. And you can do that. You might have a couple of items on your list. See each one fulfilled. Hold it in your hand. Feel the emotion of it. And you know what you can do with this is feel your sister's joy and love for you as you're working through this together, and how it deepens your relationship. Experience all of that right now. And just feel the exhilaration of your item that now is yours. No question about it. It's as much yours as this deck is mine. It's sitting right over there. No question. I don't have to wish for it. I have to go use it. See it in that kind of way. Feels good, doesn't it? Like you just take a minute and go, ooh, can we just stay here for a second? I like this feeling. Don't go to, yeah, but I don't really have it. See, there's your focus, and that's why you don't really have it. No kidding. My doctor friend was right. If you focus on I don't have, you won't have 18 months from now. So don't focus on that. Yeah, but it's so impossible. It's so big. I need so much. Times are hard. Watch your focus. This is the manifesting game. And if you get a little bit doubtful, just remember what's up in the sky right now to support you. Lots of really, really, really good energy. We're riding this wave. All right, then let's do our second step or our third step. Now command its fulfillment. And don't do it in, like this. Don't do it from a standpoint of David and Goliath, I guess comes to mind. I don't know. Don't come to it like there's this great big giant out there and you're going to try to hurl a rock at it and hopefully hit it at the right spot to bring it your way. No, don't do that. Don't do it from that perspective. Do it from the perspective of just like you would command your pet. I'm going to use the name Jupiter as our pet dog. Jupiter, no. Because that's power. That's not Jupiter. No, would you please stop doing that? Jupiter, come on, Jupiter. Don't scratch the screen window. Don't scratch the screen door. Jupiter, stop. Jupiter, no. Jupiter, come here. That's a command. That's an authoritative command. No dog training school would say, oh, Jupiter, would you please stop? Jupiter, would you not drag your food bowl across the kitchen? Jupiter, quit spilling the water. No. These are distinct commands. Do that with your items. Do it. Command it. Command it nice. You don't have to be mean. Jupiter. Be firm though. Universe. I need this item. Show up. Like your partner's in this. You're not some subordinate. You're a co-creator. I hope you're putting some words to this. I really do. I hope you're able and in a place where you can speak this out, put it out loud. Don't be desperate now, but command. Universe, I'm expecting you to deliver. And then obviously, put your focus on somebody else. Or your pet. Do what Caroline did. Worked great. Put your focus on something outside of yourself, benefiting from what you're bringing in. And see their reactions. I just love this. My sister is my motivation. See your sister's smiling, happy face and the big hug and the shared love. Look at the little icon with the hearts. When you send love to somebody else, it comes right back to you. You know that. So send love to whomever will also receive this with you. Now, we have a diverse group, and we have diverse goals and desires and wishes and intentions and challenges and hurdles. And we have a lot of love around this circle. So let's picture ourselves together supporting each other. And think about one of those people out there is you. And around you is everybody else. We have people on Facebook and YouTube. People have been in on Instagram. And we're all supporting each other. They're supporting you. You're supporting them. And out there in the middle is an altar with all of our intentions. And up above us, as the sun is probably setting there, but up above us in the sky, in the morning sky, is this incredible alignment of planets giving energy to this whole process that we're doing right now. Powerful energy. Like, I've been doing fun astrology 5 years. I haven't seen it like this in 5 years. Not this powerfully strong. This is a week to play your A game seriously. So out there in the middle is an altar with all of our intentions and goals and creations. And we are all focusing our energy right there on that middle point. So put your intention there on the screen. See that little thing out there in the middle? Looks like she might be walking around it. Use that as an altar and put your intention right there. And now, group energy. Focus your attention on that altar. Just now, with your eyes, focus your attention there. Your wishes are there, so is everyone else's. And just as you are staring at it, claim they're all fulfilled. Claim their fulfillment for everyone. And if alignment needs to be adjusted, claim that it will be. If focus needs to be adjusted, claim that it will be. This is about all of our growth. If somebody needs a little bit of moxie to command, claim that they'll find it. See it fulfilled for them. And now, just with your eyes, lift what's in that altar right up into the sky, all the way up, all the way up, 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 up. And let's do this because there's a really hurting world out there. From the middle of that circle, create a beam of white light coming up from that same spot. See a column of white light vertically up and down, connecting up to the sky. And put your love into that white light. Because whatever was on the altar and whatever we sent up a minute ago, we're now going to send out for the benefit of the collective. And that's love. So we are going to thrust this manifestation out in love, with love, for love. So as you see that beam of white light coming up from the beach, see it radiating love. And so it beautifully is. I love it. Just absolutely love it. Maybe whisper this softly together. There's gold dust in the air for me. Through definite, deliberate, prosperous thinking, I now begin assimilating that gold dust into my life. Even now, I am beginning to experience gold dust results. And as I hope that as you wind down your evening tonight, that you wind it down thinking gold dust thoughts. If you can hold this space until you go to bed, it's a little early here, but if you can hold this space before you go to bed, great. If not, try to get back to this space as you go to bed. And so that you're slowing down your mind and your physical body tonight in this creating energy. It'd be a really cool energy to do that. And so it is. I can't wait to hear some of your stories If you're in our Facebook group, please post them in there this week. If you see, have some of these prosperity demonstrations, as Catherine Ponder called them, prosperity demonstrations. What that was is just a little something that showed up that was a hint that the universe is listening. It's like it's coming. It's a little thing. Little things add up. If you can do a lot of little things, I mean, if you're good at manifesting little things, and you say, well, I'm not good at manifesting, well, turn little things into big things. That's pretty easy, right? After that. So I hope that you'll do that. And I hope that this is effective. And the cool part about it is just to realize that there is some absolutely amazing energy in the sky up above us to, good. Return to this space every night. This would be a perfect week to do this. I mean, really keep in mind, as everything is going on that's crazy, it's 11 a.m. Yeah, well, go back to bed. That's great. Australia. We're just all on the journey, aren't we? We're all on the journey. So, point is, you guys are the A team. So play your A game this week, A team. You won't regret doing that. I love you. I'll see you on the podcasts. I've got more stuff coming and more in the works and a lot going on the backside that you haven't seen yet, but all good. And looking forward to sharing with you as it starts to itself manifest. So have a great week. I'm almost thinking we need to do something. I guess we could I just have to think about this. Maybe we could do some live stuff this week just to keep this going, because this is going to be such a phenomenal week. So I'll see if I can rally some other folks to help me with this maybe, and we'll do little drop-ins. Nothing will be scheduled, but you'll see it when it comes up, and then there will be replays. So we'll try to really carry the theme through all week. All right. You guys have a great one. I love you. Thank you. Thanks for being with us tonight, for staying for the whole thing. Bye-bye.